This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, you guys, welcome to our group tonight. I am Kim. It's election night, so I'm really surprised that people are here. I thought we'd have a small group. We're actually doing pretty good. So we'll see what we do 2 weeks from now, when it's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I'm assuming a lot of people will be busy and just need to have a night rest before all the family craziness. So I'll go ahead and get started. My name is Kim. I'm from Des Moines, Iowa. Relapsing remitting, diagnosed in 2012, currently on Ocrevus. And Victoria, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Victoria from San Jose, California. You can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Victoria from San Jose, California, diagnosed in 97, relapsing remitting. I'm not on anything at this time. And that's about it.
Did you need any time tonight?
Maybe later. Sure.
Maybe. Okay. Frank, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Frank Austin from Plainville, Kansas. I was diagnosed in 1997, May 15th to be precise. I'm not on anything. I just absorbed vitamin D and trudge on through life. And I do need some time tonight.
Okay. Jennifer, go ahead and introduce yourself.
You're muted. Oh, I think she's talking.
Just give her a sec. She'll...
Yay! Okay. Hi. And now I'll scoot back because I'm obscenely close. I'm Jennifer. I have secondary progressive MS. I was diagnosed in 1997. I'm currently taking Ratuxan. And I had an infusion 2 days ago. So I'm like riding the Ciamedrol buzz. So I might be interjecting all night long. So I don't need time. I'll just be talking with everyone, I'm sure.
Do you want to be the moderator tonight, Jen, with all your energy?
No.
Okay. I'm just saying, if you had the extra energy, go for it. Okay. Did you need time tonight?
I'm afraid if I'm a moderator, Kim, I won't shut up. So I'm just going to zip it for right now.
Okay.
It was worth a try.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Mike, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm from Denver, Colorado. I have relapsing remitting MS. I was diagnosed in 2010, and I'm currently on Tecfidera. I'm really tired tonight, but I'm gonna try to hang. I don't need any time though.
Okay. Well, we're glad you're here, Mike. Thanks for joining us. John, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm John, diagnosed in 2016 with relapsing remitting. I am on Zeposia right now. Did I get everything? I live in Michigan. I don't know. I voted today.
Fantastic. Awesome.
And Kim, I'll need a couple of minutes.
All right, sounds good. And Louie, go ahead and introduce yourself. Welcome.
Hi, so I always forget everything on this. So I'm Louis from San Antonio, Texas, diagnosed almost a year ago, and I'm on Ocrevus.
Did you want any time tonight, Louis?
Oh, I think I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. And Amina, welcome, Amina. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I was diagnosed in 2010, and I am not currently taking anything for MS, but I do some other medications for neuropathy and for pain and muscle spasms. But yeah, It's good to be here.
Did you need any time tonight, Amina?
Just a couple of minutes, yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
Christy, go ahead and introduce yourself. Welcome.
I am Christy. I live in Brighton, Colorado. I was diagnosed in 2003, so I'll be hitting my 20-year mark next March. Currently on Ocrevus, and yeah, sometime tonight would be great.
Okay, thank you. And last but not least, Tim, welcome. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, I'm the poster child for Abagio. I have a CIS diagnosed in March of 2021. I'm taking gabapentin and I can't even say it now. Amantadine. There we go. I got it finally. Amantadine. Don't need any time tonight. I'm rocking and rolling.
Okay, and then Karen, go ahead and introduce yourself. We might have to wait a moment here for her to get completely on here.
Yeah, I don't see anybody.
We hear
It's
you.
raining, so maybe you can hear me.
Yeah,
Okay,
looks
and
like you're frozen.
okay, I'm gonna turn my camera off anyway because I'm eating. Here I am. Here I
Oh,
am.
we see you now. Now you're gone. Oh
Waiting for
no.
name. What is this? It all changed. Well, everybody knows who I am. It's Karen. And no, I don't need any time taking my name.
And then, did you win the lotto ticket because it was in California? That wasn't
San
you?
Leandro. It's true. I could have. I do go to San Leandro to the dentist. I would share it with all of you.
That'd be pretty
Yeah,
fun.
But I've never bought a lotto ticket, and I still think, my chances of winning are as good as everybody else's.
if I would have won last night, we would have our yearly meeting. I'd fly everyone to a location. Oh my God, it would be amazing.
Well, that would be fun.
I always talk to Rick about that I would love to have like a conference somewhere with all the different groups, and then we can meet together and also separately and do breakout. I think that'd be really fun to do where we all get together and everyone to some place. I think that'd be really fun. Anyway, that's just me. Let's get started. Frank, what did you want to talk about tonight?
I had an opportunity yesterday to do a consultation for a drug company. And what they were curious about was whether we, as a group, we as patients, would be interested in a drug that takes of infusions and puts us on injections. And I'm going, what's the point? Let's talk about this. And of course, I'm a skeptic anyway. I think what we're paying for drugs is outlandish. I think that the drug companies are just trying to manufacture chronic drugs that we have to take forever and ever and ever and not a one time forget about it or a month or 2 months or 3 months, whatever. So I'm a bit of a skeptic about the whole thing. And anyway, what it ended up being is in listening to it, when I got all the way through it, I think what they've got is an idea that they can change Ocrevus and Tisabri to injections over a period of time, not once a month, but do injections rather than infusions. And that's what they were after. And of course, I'm going, I, you know, I just don't know that people are going to go for that. And if you make the price right, well, maybe. But the other thing that you got to do is make sure the efficacy is equal. So it it was about an hour-long consultation about taking infusions versus injections, and they didn't even want to talk about oral till I forced them to.
Well, on
Hey,
Ocrevus, it's only twice a year, an infusion twice a year. Why would I switch up twice a year to monthly injections,
because somebody thinks they can make some money.
right? That's just
Tis-
absurd in my book.
Tisabri is monthly, correct?
Say what?
Jen?
Tisabri
Tisabri is a monthly injection, right?
is an
Not
infusion.
sorry, infusion. Sorry, I'm getting the words twisted around. So Tisabri is a monthly infusion, correct? Or is it
Yeah, I was on Tisabri for like 5 years.
Mhm.
It was just a strange consultation. It really was.
Well, I was afraid that you were going to do it. So, a lot of times, what drugs will do is they'll just reformulate it enough that it's new and then they relaunch it. So, I was afraid you were going to tell me, like, okay, so Copaxone, we're reformulating that and now it's going to be this. Or, like, Rebif is now going to be this. I'm like, I don't want an older drug that's just been tweaked and reformulated a little bit.
But
But you're talking about the actual infusions and putting them as injections.
if they
Who
do
was
that,
the drug? Who was the drug company, Frank?
they wouldn't say.
Huh?
They would
They
not
would.
say.
Oh, how'd they find you?
I'm popular.
Well, I know that, but
Yeah, you say, you know Frank in Kansas? And everybody's like, yeah, we know Frank.
Wait, which one? The one that lives in the middle of nowhere.
The one that lives
Yeah,
in the
that's
middle,
like pretty much right smack in the middle of the country.
the middle of everywhere.
Yeah, no one likes to do injections because they hurt.
Well,
And then you can get potential long-term side effects like with Copaxone where you have all the, sites and stuff. Like no one likes that. So
believe me,
I
that was brought up by me.
I mean, when I did the injection of Rebif, that hurt. I did not enjoy it. That was 3 times a week. That was not a
ouch.
good time.
I
Yeah.
am I am not comfortable injecting myself with something at all. Like I can't trust myself with that.
Yeah,
So
especially
Frank, what were you
people that
saying?
have like a tremor or have problems with their hands. That makes it really problematic.
Well, when I was on Copaxone, they had the auto injector. So if it was something that I had to like stick myself with, I would not have been okay with that. I'd have been like, okay, next. But they had the auto injector, which was really kind of painless because it only went tissue deep. It was one that wasn't needing to be muscle deep. But still, there were like injection site reactions, and that's why I quit taking Copaxone because I was getting such bad injection site reactions, and you have to rotate them like arm, leg, stomach, arm, leg, stomach, and I was getting those injection site reactions, and
Well,
that's not fun.
believe me, I was the guy that did beta Saron for years. And yeah, they heard that
So I
because I
think
had,
I think the general consensus here is what you thought and told them, Frank. I don't see anyone here going, "Wow, yeah."
nobody wants to tell me I'm off my rocker. Okay,
No, I
good.
feel like we're in same wavelength as you. Or like, why? Why do that?
Seems like a step backwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
was,
the drug companies, since I have such an exciting social life, I actually turn my TV on at night and I see all those ads, especially for Ocrevus, but for all of them. And the whole thing is now patient advocate, is just to have people. So they might have been fishing for that too. They didn't know who you were. Maybe you're not. Because when I met with Elizabeth and Hannah, I asked them about, people get picked for different things. I said, oh, what is it? Like America's Got Talent or something like, the people who are younger and sexy and more photogenic, they get to do photo shoots and they get to spend another day doing this. So
That's not why they picked me.
And of all the routes to administer a medication, everyone's least favorite are injections. You know?
I don't know. It was just strange.
Yeah.
well,
I
then
was
then
just
they can,
happy.
maybe they're in cahoots, so you can put in a port, and then it's like, well, what happens when that gets infected? Oh, we can go in and take it out and do it again.
Who wants
And,
to have a port unless you have to have a port,
I
you
don't.
right.
know? Ugh, no.
Well, and I
Okay.
was so excited that when I got off Copaxone, um, I wasn't on anything because only options were like Rebif and all that, where it was injections. And my doctor finally called me. He's like, "Oh, guess what?" He's like, "Gilenya, it's a pill." I'm like, "Okay, I can do pills." So I did. I was on Gilenya for like 10 years. So that was kind of a relief to get rid of, have to worry about the injections, and then went to the pill. So
Especially with MS in your hands. I was out with my friend who has diabetes, and we're in a restaurant. She's trying to like inject herself, and she's had it for a long time. Something wasn't working, and then she was like, I said, oh, well, I can do that for you. I said, I'm a nurse. She goes, right, with your hands? I don't think so. Oh, oh, you're right. Because she has neuropathy too, and she couldn't like push the plunger on it.
I think that's pretty much set. No, we don't want we don't want new injections. We want, long in between
Cure
dosings on infusions or like oral pills.
and a
Yeah,
cure.
Or just fix it once and be done. That's supposed to be the preferable, but
yeah, we're all in agreement.
yeah, sounds like we're in agreement. So yeah, doesn't sound fun.
It just seemed like a strange thing to be asking people.
And that's probably why they're putting feelers out, because they're like, is it worth trying to spend all this time and money on this thing? Because are they going to go for it? And you're like, MS, like, no, I don't want to do injections.
And it probably
Injections.
wasn't Genentech. Somebody's trying to like Ocrevus really cornered the market, which is just
I got the feeling it because at one point she may have slipped and said either Ocrevus or Tysabri.
it's really getting popular too. My sister-in-law, she just got switched over to Kesimpta,
I was
and that
going to
one
say
is becoming
that's a
like the
popular.
the secondary, like, Ocrevus option. Kesimpta is like, it's a once a month injection.
so there you go.
Yeah. So I'm just like, have fun with that. I go in twice a year for an infusion, and it's like I got moved to the fast track infusion. I think it takes like 2 hours and 15 or 2.5 hours, something like that, instead of the 4 to 6.
Because you tolerate it well.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see John on one of those commercials.
Oh, you might.
Did
Like
you want to
leg-
talk about what you wanted to talk about tonight, Jen?
Oh, yeah. So, you know how friends and family give you different advice on how to cure or regulate your MS? We always have those very helpful people. I'm really excited for Thanksgiving because of that. Like, John, have you tried putting heads of lettuce on your feet? No, but I have no idea what that would do. Um, but someone made a recommendation today of Vinpocetine. It's a supplement rather than a medicine. Has anyone heard of it or
Can
used
you
it,
spell
tried
it
it?
out in the chat, John?
Oh, heck yeah, I can. I always forget about the chat. So that's the thing that a friend who has MS suggested, and I'd never heard of it. It looks like they use it in Parkinson's for spasticity, but it also like protects the proteins of your myelin. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but has anyone here ever tried that?
No,
Okay.
but it's worth looking into.
I never
Yeah.
heard of it until you just said it. This
Right.
is the
Okay,
first
Same
time
cool.
I've heard of it.
In 2 weeks, I'll come back with a report.
here. You got homework due in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. It's like I'm in school again. Yay. I love school.
It's a
So
man-made chemical similar to a substance found in the periwinkle plant. In Europe, it's sold a drug called Caventon. May increase blood flow to the brain and protect cells, neurons against injury. Used for memory, dementia, stroke, hearing loss, many other conditions. No good evidence to support most of these uses.
okay. So
Um,
it's like many supplements. Like, hey,
it is
this is what it.
allowed, but it says it's allowed in the U.S., but its status is controversial and may change. FDA has yet to make a final ruling. In
Then
2019, they issued a warning that who was ever pregnant, don't use it.
okay, I'll be really careful then.
Well, I
Just
don't worry
don't get
about you
pregnant.
getting pregnant. I'm worried
Yeah.
about you getting pregnant, but
I just wanted to see if anyone knew, and Kim gave me when she said it hasn't been approved by the FDA. I'm like,
well, they have
okay,
so what happens? Okay,
yeah.
little okay,
Tell me nurse stuff. Tell me nurse
okay,
stuff.
so supplements. There was this big thing in the 90s. It was like they're gonna take away your vitamin C. Like, don't take away my vitamin C. So they came out with this ruling in the 90s called a DSHEA. So with supplements, so if I want to bring a supplement to the market, all I have to do is within 30 days I submit it to the FDA. Go look, and I can be packing scum water as a supplement, and I just put it on the market. And then the FDA is responsible for like proving whether or not it's bad or not. So it's all the burden of the testing and like saying that something's bad with it is in the FDA. And that is different from a prescription or an over-the-counter medication because all the burden goes to the manufacturer. They have to do these big reports and studies and
Yeah.
everything, but they don't do that with supplements. So depending on the person, it could be very well grounded in science or like what they say is actually in there, and it could just be someone in their garage throwing things in a capsule and selling it as a supplement. And as long as they send it to the FDA, like, yo, I'm sending my supplements on the market, it's legal. So
Okay.
the FDA has very rarely pulled things. They have, like ephedra was one that they pulled, but they don't have a lot of manpower that they can't go through all these massive amounts of supplements and
Sure.
test them and see if they are what they say they are. But they are places like Consumer Labs, if I remember correctly, is like a nonprofit where they'll go and take supplements and test them and go, they actually have the amount of drugs they said that were in this supplement. Like so that's a whole nother
Cool.
wrap. But that's how supplements are very different than like over the counter medications and prescription
Yeah.
medications.
No, absolutely. Thank you.
hmm So
Another
there's
thing.
some amazing
Oh,
supplements out there, and some of them are just like I wouldn't touch that.
right, right. Like it's tortoise poop.
It could
Like
be.
Well, there's
I have lots of tortoise poop
Yeah,
from my
you could
pet
market that
tortoise.
if you wanted to.
there's one supplement vitamin company that I know. I don't know if you guys have. They're probably nationwide, but Nature Made.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They
Very well
tout
known.
that, yeah, that they tout that they're 100% whatever verified.
hmm
So,
hmm
you know,
yeah,
that's the only one I can think of that, really when they do commercials and stuff is they really like the fact that they're verified.
yeah. Like, hey, we have this word that we can use to market this. We're verified. We are substantial. I just say words.
I just
So
put in the chat. I just put in the chat a suggestion I got today. Well, my brother-in-law has MS, and he changed his diet and his lifestyle and acupuncture, and he's using halophytic meds, and he's not progressing. It's like, thank you. That really helps me a lot.
yeah, I appreciate
There's
you thinking of me.
What the
there's
hell
a
are
lot of great
halophytic meds?
no, but there are a lot of great supplements out there. Like I use supplements, but I'm also very careful in which brands I use and what I use and things like that. And then the downside of supplements is that there's not a lot of data on them, so there could be potential interactions with your medications and things like that. And so just have to be careful. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
supplements. There's a whole new
it's
world.
a whole thing. It's a whole new
Yeah,
thing.
it is.
Um, Something else I just wanted to talk about was that I went to physical therapy today, and I walked around 100 steps with my walker, with my upright walker.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so that
Good
was
job, Deb.
I impressed my PT because I just kept going, and they're like, "Holy shit!" And there were no other appointments at the time, so like all four PTs that worked there were like, "Yeah, you got this. This is awesome." So it just felt really nice to see progress is coming along. Just trusting in the system, doing my stuff at home, and
And
I
how are
can't.
you feeling right now?
I'm tired. Like I could have gone to sleep at 4:30 today. Um, but I feel happy. The thing that
Good.
is really I'm never sore the next day. It's always 2 days for me. So Thursday is going to be my low energy sore pain day. But
Mhm.
luckily, I'm just going to go see my neurologist. So, low stress day, nothing big happening. Um, but that's going to be a fun appointment. I love seeing my neurologist, and we're going to get more information about my new power chair.
And do you actually see your neurologist in person or you telemed, telehealth?
Oh no, we're going down to Grand Rapids, and we're
Okay,
going to see her face to face.
nice.
Yeah, she's a PA. She's not a neurologist, but you know what? If you're a PA, I say you're my neurologist because I've never met the head neurologist of this place, so whatever. So that'll be good. And then another thing, like I hear you guys complaining about high drug prices, and I'm part of that as well. I've done action days where we write Congress people and stuff, and we want more more better drug prices if you can figure that out.
Yeah.
Um, but full disclosure, I am a patient ambassador for Zeposia. So once or twice a week, I log in and I give my 10-minute MS story, and then I'm done. And it's funny because they pay me what in my mind is an obscene amount of money to do my 10-minute story, and I don't feel bad about it because I know how much drugs are, medicine is every year. So it kind of feels like I have to pay for the money and all that stuff, but I'm also, in my mind, Robin Hood a little bit.
Are they also providing, besides paying you, are they also providing you the medication for free?
Yes,
Nice.
yes, yeah, yeah. And it happened for like how it happened was really weird. When you start on Zeposia, this is John voice, not my like I worked for them voice. When I first started, they give you like a nurse to check in with once a month, and I was checking in with her, and she said, we're gonna try to launch like patient ambassadors. Here's the number, call them and just see what happens. So I randomly called this number. They said, hey, it's good to talk to you. send us your stuff. And then they picked me out of I don't know how many people, but so it's not like any of my fault that it happened. I just called a phone number and went along with it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Yeah, and I do it from right here. I mean, I'm literally in my work area right now.
So they pay you, and you get $100,000 a year drug. Not
Luckily,
bad.
my insurance is really good, and it was only costing much less than $100,000.
Well, okay.
Yeah, yeah, but still. And I have been on Instagram and stuff like that. So, Karen, I don't think you're too far off when you're going to say, I'm going to see John in one of these commercials. You know, um, I'm already in print and stuff, so it was a weird thing to fall into. But if you guys knew all of my life, I Forrest Gump all the time. I just fall into stuff and it works. One summer I was at the zoo in my hometown, said, "Hey, how do I get to drive that train?" And then I had a job driving the miniature train at the zoo. It just, it's weird.
John,
So,
what's the drug again, and who's the manufacturer?
Zeposia, and it's a Bristol Myers Squibb thing, I guess. I
That's
work for a
BMS.
company called Snow Companies, which is
Yeah, I
hired
know.
by the drug company. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna say
yeah,
if anyone knows who Snow is, Rick knows who Snow is.
yeah, I know who's not. So Zeposia is Zaposia?
ZEP, but the rest is right. Yeah.
Go ahead and put it in the chat for him.
Okay.
I got it. No, I got it. Zeposia. I just wrote it.
Every time you say you're on Supposia, I'm like, really? You suppose so, huh?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. So that is no like I'm not trying to tell you anything cool about Suppose or anything like that. I wasn't trying to sell you anything. Just saying that's what I do.
They need
And
to
it
get a
just
better name like Abagio. Come on now. Abagio is
Yeah.
much better name than
I still
Sposio.
think Baggio is the snootiest sounding one so far. Baggio. You gotta have
Baggio,
the nasal part.
Amazing.
Baggio.
Zaposia.
I
I don't know if I
actually
can
That
make
know.
I don't know if I can make it sound as good as a Baggio.
I think
So
it's Tim's delivery that it's
yeah.
just he knows how to deliver a
You know
bomb.
what? That's Tim's assignment for next time. Is he needs to come up with the snootiest sounding for all the drugs. Make it just
okay.
sound as ritzy every drug. I want to hear Jelania and whatever. You know, I can't do it. It all sounds whiny out of my mouth, but make it sound like the ritziest thing, like it's now the new Chanel or Louis Vuitton or whatever.
Why,
You know,
why Ocravis? Is it
Make us
Ocravis? Is
hate
it
you.
Ocravis?
I
Tomato,
asked
tomato.
a drug because I heard Ocrevus, I've heard Ocrevus, and I asked the drug rep. I'm like, "What is it?" She's like, "It's both." She didn't answer. I'm like, oh, "Come on, I want to say it right."
Maybe they don't know.
This is a made up word anyway.
It
Yeah.
is.
Hannah is also an ambassador for Ocrevus.
Oh, cool.
And Elizabeth.
And Elizabeth.
Oh, and Elizabeth, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's why they were in town. The drug companies wine and dine you.
Well,
They
I
just
saw
make
her in a couple of commercials.
I was going to take them out to dinner, and they said, "You know what? We get a budget. We can pay for the dinner." I was like, "Oh,
Did they
okay."
pay for yours, Karen? Did they like, hey,
They
well,
said couldn't do that. I didn't understand that one. They said we can only get like one entree a piece. I was like, "Oh, okay, good. Treat me."
so you guys know how the world is really a lot smaller than we thought. My mom was a drug rep for Bristol Myers back in the 90s. So when they first
oh,
launched Metformin
Oh,
as whatever it was called, um, let's just say that 18-year-old me tagged along with my mom to like Tigers games, Red Wings games, fancy dinners. My sister got to go to all these like Broadway plays. So we had it like divided up. Like John is sports, Katie is arts and theater. Dad, you go when you need to be mom's husband, to like just dinner events, dinner parties. So I know all about that, like that little budget that they give you, which back then it was unlimited. It felt like
Yeah, they've clamped down on it because, like, before they used
big
to give
time.
out all sorts of trinkets at, like, your family medicine. Like, the Viagra pens were big in the 90s when I worked at the, family medicine, because they were, first of all, it said Viagra, but second of all, they were like really heavy pens. They were great pens. And my God, like when I was like, hey, I'm going back to school and college, what, and they would just hook me up with at Oxycontin, like no big old post-it notes that said Oxycontin on. I even had a little thing that you'd flip on, and the little things would, just the craziest things they would hook me up with. I'm like, I'm going back to school. What can you hook me up with? And just all these things. All my pens for school were
All my pens are like
drug
that.
pens. And
All
this
my
is before
pens
I
are.
got into This is before I got into pharmacy, and I had all
Yeah,
these pharmacies.
I still have an arsenal of stuff, but I used to work for a nonprofit clinic, and they had a drug cabinet where they would give patients things, and I said, oh, where to get, because they were a nonprofit, they weren't connected to, now they get federal funding. So then I would ask the nurse, and she goes, well, I said, well, what do you do? We give them to patients, and then what happens when you run out? She goes, we tell them we need more, and they just.
So it was like the sample packs.
No, they'd actually have a whole closet of, like, I think my dog got sick, so I wanted some penicillin. I like went in the closet and go, can I have some penicillin?
And also the same period, I went back to work at one of the bigger clinics on break. I think it was on spring break or something. And the first day I brought my lunch. And like, why did you bring your lunch? I'm like, I don't
Oh
come. Like,
yeah.
no, a new drug rec comes in every day and feeds the whole entire staff every day. Don't bring lunch.
Yeah, we used to
Oh,
get that too.
okay. So, yeah. All right. Anything else, John? Let's see it. Mina, did you want to talk about what you wanted to talk about tonight? She could be laying down and is really tired. We'll give her a moment or two.
My Uber Eats came, so I just wanted to scarf down a taco.
Oh, you scarf it down, girl,
Mhm.
and we'll move
Yeah,
on
hold on.
to Christy here if you need a
did you
time to
Okay.
eat.
did you bring
Okay,
enough for
yeah,
the
a couple
class?
of minutes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Christy, what did you want to talk about, girl?
Well, I just wanted to. I'm going through a struggle because it's been over a year now that I've been dealing with my spasms and spasticity. No matter what I do, it's not getting better. I've been getting Botox injections. I'm still waiting for the approval from insurance so I can try the Baclofin pump that's going to be implanted in me. Um, I have a lot of concerns with getting something implanted in me and it not working because right now I'm taking Baclofin orally and I think I'm taking the max daily, um, and it hasn't really helped. So I've just been struggling a lot and feeling like it's never going to get better. And then on top of that, within a couple of weeks, probably like 3 weeks, so my physical therapist, she decided to leave wherever. I don't know if she was retiring. I don't know. Um, and I was supposed to hear back, and I've been calling and nagging them uh, for a new physical therapist, but they're the ones that they have because it has to be a neuro physical therapist. Um, they have two of them, and they're booked out. And I'm like, you know what? I wasn't existing with one of your physical therapists that decided to leave, and here I am being put on the back burner. And then probably about 3 weeks later, I lost my OT because he up and quit. And and it's just like, oh my gosh, can I at least catch a break here? And so it's just really bringing me down, and I really just want to like give up on trying to make myself better because it's like every time I feel like I'm making headway or making progress, something happens. And I don't know what it is with Colorado, trying to find um, physical therapists that actually are like neurophysical therapists, because a regular physical therapist can screw you up worse. So I have to go to one that's a neuro, and they're like very limited here in Colorado. And if they are clumped, and they're really far away from my house, so it makes it very difficult travel wise. So it's just gotten to the point where I'm like, it is what it is right now. Um, I've tried to fix it and I'm not getting help. And it's really just irritating. And so, yeah, I'm kind of going back and forth with the Baclofin pump. So just because I take it orally, and I don't know, I'm just really skeptical about it right now.
Christy, can I
Yeah.
make a suggestion?
Huh?
Call the MS Society Navigator program
Hmm.
and see if they can help you with the PT and OT.
I have a navigator. So I just
Yeah.
haven't heard back from her yet.
Oh,
Huh?
okay. All right.
Yeah, it's just frustrating because everywhere is just so far away. Um, Even the ones that I was seeing, it was like uh I would say about 45 minutes to an hour drive just to get there for a 50-minute um appointment, and then another hour to drive back. So every time my husband would have to take like a half day. So it's like we're going out of our way. Why can't you guys meet me in the middle? So yeah, but I reached out to my navigator. I sent her an email asking for help. I just haven't heard back from her. I'm just frustrated right now.
Did the providers tell you why they're leaving? Because I'm with Kaiser, and it's, half my providers tell me, just how frustrating it is, and they just and people are leaving in droves. They're just constantly leaving, and I just found out with a few things that these health insurance, especially Kaiser, but I'm sure others are like that. They don't really want to hire people. They don't care if people quit. They want you to quit because then they just want to do contractors. Just go to an independent outside contractor. So I'm wondering if they're telling you why they're quitting because they're being encouraged to just like be on their own.
Um, the OT guy that I was seeing, he did discuss with me that, you know, where he was at, um, they were requiring a minimum patient list. And he's like, it's really hard to keep a minimum patient list when, you know, OT is not a long term for the most part. He's like, so, and he was expressing to me that he was going to maybe venture out on his own and do
See,
like in
see,
home. But, when I was told that he was leaving, um, I even asked, I was like, well, is he going somewhere? We don't know. So, and I don't have a direct contact to get a hold of him directly. So I don't know where he went. So, but the lady, I don't know. I went to an appointment one day and she's like, oh, just to let you know, next week is my last week. And Steve and I were just sitting there. I was like, well, where are you going? She's like, well, I think I'm moving out of state. I don't know. But they have two other neuros at the facility, And, it's like, well, we have to, she doesn't know what day she's going to be in, so we'll be in touch with you. Okay. I've called and they're like, oh, she's not going to be able to see you till January.
Ah,
And then they said, well, we have another neuro. She's at our other location. Um, so I called the other location. She can't see me till December. And this was 2 weeks ago. So I'm just like, I'm just frustrated and disappointed in the healthcare. And I guess I'm just skeptical about a lot of things now.
well, you're not
Before,
alone. You're not alone with that.
before I would really trust what my doctor says, and it would get taken care of right away. But ever since COVID, healthcare is very minimal now and it's very scheduled far out. And I don't even know. I'm really hoping I can get the Baclofin pump before the year is over, because right now I've met my out of pocket max, so I haven't paid for anything healthcare wise since beginning of January. It was like January 6th. It was my first infusion, and that took care of my out of pocket, so I haven't paid for anything. Um, Otherwise, if I can't get it by the end of this year, then I'm going to have to wait until probably February, because I have my infusion, my next infusion, January 6th. And I usually have to wait like 2 or 3 weeks before it goes through the system that I'm not paying anything. And this is an actual outpatient kind of surgery. So I just don't want to have it scheduled and then or get it scheduled and like, oh, you have to pay X amount of dollars before we can schedule you. And I'm just like, so that's where I'm at right now. It's just super frustrating.
What's the holdup with the Baclofin pump?
Insurance approval. Yeah. So when I first met with the pain management doctor, um, he said it usually takes about 3 months. I met with him July 21st. So August, September, October. We're going on 4 months now. And it's really strange, that nothing has been approved, and it's the way that it goes through. It's so weird. I've never had this before. They use Medtronic for the Baclofin pump. Everything goes through Medtronic, and they have like a back door into my insurance company for approvals and stuff like that. So I called my insurance to see if I can get it, pushed along. And they're like, we don't have anything here for a procedure for this. And I'm like, my doctor just said that they're waiting on approval. Well, that's when I found out that it goes through Medtronic, and it's not, they deal with the insurance companies differently as far as getting approvals. And I'm like, oh, great. So I'm kind of in the dark right now as to if approval's going through. So that's where I'm at with that. I'm just,
Well, since you don't have a job, you could just spend your whole energy, use all your spoons just to fight with bureaucracies, Like they just
I,
try to wear you down and wear you down and wear you down, and it's
yeah, that would, like, just thinking about it uses up all my spoons, because it's super draining to think about it. And, all the effort I've put into to try and get this resolved, I'm kind of at my wit's end.
Christy, were you interested in talking to my friend that has a Baclofin pump?
Yeah, I would like to
Okay.
speak to somebody,
All right. I'll
because
reach out to her.
that's
She's
one
had it
thing.
for a
Like,
while.
yeah, like I said, I take it orally, the max oral every day, and it's like haven't noticed a difference. So that's where my skepticism comes in, that if I take it orally, I know you don't get the full benefit taking it orally, because by the time it goes through your system, you lose a lot of the
Bioavailability.
yeah. So I don't know, I just have a lot of like doubt with
Excuse me.
taking it.
I'll
So
reach
yeah,
out to her tomorrow and see if she can get a hold of you. I'll give you your cell number and stuff, so
no, that
she can
works.
reach out to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Because the last you need to talk to someone that's actually had it for years to because with everything that you've experienced, you're like, why do I want to go through this surgery and why do I want to have this when I'm feeling very not sure with the medical system right now, you know?
Right. And I don't want to have it implanted for it not to work, to go into another procedure for them to remove it,
Well, you
type of
do,
thing.
to my knowledge, she has to have a every year she has to have a surgery to I think clean it out and do things. So I was not aware of that. So you
I'm
do
not
have to
aware
do
of that either. I'll ask my doctor, but
great question to ask her.
yes,
I think she has to have a surgery every year with it.
which I don't mind. It's just
Mhm.
communication, people. That's all I'm asking. If I reach out to you, get back to me, please. Otherwise, I'm going to blow up your email, your phone, your voicemail, whatever.
You're not alone. And I know I've told people I love my primary care provider, but the last time I went there, I had the most hideous experience and with a medical assistant and and then she's never been like that. I've had like 50 or 75 interactions with her, if not more, and I totally trust her and I've never not taken her advice. And she was kind of a bitch to me. And I, and I had to go, wait a minute, this woman has incredible good credit with me. She just, her medical assistant was just so hideous, like pinned me to a wall. I couldn't even figure out what was the problem. Like pinned me in place. I said, you need to move your foot so can you move? I didn't say you need to, can you move your foot so I can adjust my walker? You just need to sit down and let me take your blood pressure. And then, and then I was like, you know what? You don't have to take my blood pressure. Well, if you don't let me take your blood pressure, you can't see the doctor. I said, really? Really? And so my doctor came in and she was mad at me about what happened. And, I'm still like kind of annoyed about it. And I'm like, wait a minute, this woman is amazing. She's had to work with this person that like threw me, 3 minutes in a room with her. And my doctor has told me she's very like private. She doesn't share that, a lot of people are just like leaving, they can't stand it anymore. So that's going on, even like her, my favorite doc, like I'm always like never been inappropriate. Wow.
Yeah, and I have a lot of friends that are in the healthcare industry, and they're seriously overworked and, fried, because there there are shortages everywhere. Um, but yeah, and so I get it, but at the same time, this is like a major procedure in my book, you know. Talk to me, communicate,
Have
please.
you, have you, hey Christy, have you reached out to any communities online to see what any of the people in the community, the MS, like groups, anyone who's dealt with a Baclofin pump? I mean, just simply
No,
like reaching out. That might be a good place to start. Just reach out to other people who have multiple sclerosis, see what their experience is. And as far as a physical therapist, I know that it's not in person and somebody's not touching you, but there are physical therapists online that do exercise programs for people with multiple sclerosis. So I know it's like frustrating that you don't have that face-to-face contact, but right now, since the pandemic, you have to take what you can get. So maybe that would be
right. And
something to reach out
I,
to.
yeah, and I'm okay with like telehealth, like, you know,
Mhm.
Zoom or whatever. I've even
Right.
reached out to doctors on demand because they have a whole physical therapy. They don't have any neuros, and so I'm like, can you refer me somewhere? And they're like, well, we really can't because our
Well,
doctors are
just think of
proprietary.
power in this group, like just sharing our stories that we have here. So maybe if you reach out to MS communities,
Oops,
they're everywhere. Because I'm sure that's got to be frustrating and exhausting. And if you
it
can
is.
find someone who has like a similar experience, like what Kim's talking about, connecting you with someone, that might really put your mind at ease and give
I
you some
think
more
it
information.
would. I think it would. It'd be nice to talk to somebody who actually is living with a baclofen pump. That
And
can.
in this community of 1 million people with MS in the
Mhm.
United States, you're going to be able to find somebody.
Right.
I
You
would
know,
hope
about
so.
the PT also, Chrissy, I met her, I think I only met her once before the pandemic started, but I had a neuro PT, and we did it on video at home. And I think for her, mostly you get a lot of old people who can't
Hmm.
hear and can't see, and I used to dance, and I know about my body, because it would just surprise me how effective it was. It just wasn't effective because I got MS. It's like, no, I can't make my muscles do what they need to do. But at least she understood that. And
Hmm.
it just surprised me how fairly effective it was. And I thought for her, it's probably like, oh, good, at least Karen can communicate, So, maybe you don't have to do that drive. And then and this was early on in the pandemic, we did have a bit of a tiff because it's like, and I didn't understand what it was about. And then she said, I'm sorry, Kaiser just sent out a memo and told us we can't send things in the mail. And it's like, oh, great. So how, I have MS, I can't write. How am I supposed to get this information?
Right.
So,
Night,
they're just
Jen.
constant. It's constant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just right now. I'm just completely frustrated. Um. Okay. Is Tim still in here? Yeah, he is. Calling out to Tim. Are you here? Oh no.
Yep, I'm here.
There he is. Okay. Just real quick. Did you say that you were taking tizanidine?
No, no, amantadine. That's to help with fatigue.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, he's on tizanidine? Why? Because tizanidine is for spasticity and spasms. So I'm
That's
like,
easy for you to say.
right. But
See,
yeah,
that's
I
the
was just
closest. That's the closest drug to Christy. Did you say insanity? Did you say you're taking insanity?
right. I heard it because I just heard something Dean, and I was like, is he on tizanidine? So yeah, it's like I have a whole cupboard here of medicines that I take daily. Speaking of which, I gotta take my third dose of Baclofin. Hold on, let me grab that real quick.
There's actually, it's either an eye drop or an ear drop. It's actually called FML. That's the name of it. And then later on, the abbreviations became very popular.
You know what? All of my prescriptions, I can consider them as FMLs.
Yeah, it's fluoromethalone ophthalmic drops,
Ah,
but its abbreviation on the bottle's FML. And so that's a favorite one in the. Okay, we have a couple people that have joined us. Mike Pettypool, hello. Introduce yourself.
he's on the phone.
Hi, Jim. I'm here. I've had real problems with my computer tonight, but I was able to get on the phone. and I'm happy to be here.
How are you doing, Mike? We haven't had a chance to talk to you in a while because usually you're pretty quiet. How are things been?
Pretty well. I'm losing weight. My wife says I'm getting small and asked me if that's got to do with MS. I said, I really don't know. I thought I'd throw that out there to the group and see if other, well, I'm 68, so there's a lot of things going on with me. But losing weight is usually not a bad thing. Does anyone else have that experience?
How
Do
much
you
weight are
feel,
you?
Mike, like, oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, how much weight have you lost, and what time frame are we talking about
About
here?
25 pounds since the beginning of the year. I'm 190 and 165 now. And I eat and drink whatever I want, whenever I want.
Okay, so you haven't changed your eating habits whatsoever. You're not trying to lose weight, and you've lost 25 pounds. That's,
Right.
I don't know. To me, Mike, when I hear someone has sudden weight loss without reason, that is like a huge sign to get your booty to the doctor. Because
Yeah.
it could be many things. My experience with MS is that we tend to gain weight because we have fatigue issues and we don't exercise as much as we should. That's been my personal experience. But I would recommend that you go get seen by a doctor and check out, because it could be a variety of things, but the one that always freaks me out is the first one is the potential cancer. That's one of the things that they look at. Do you have sudden weight loss with no explanation?
I mean,
And that's not something I would want to sit on.
I think the same way, but I've had significant weight loss. But Mike, I haven't heard you, and I'll tell you why I have the weight loss, even though I have the physical that Kim talks about, putting on weight, because I lost muscle tone. I have paralysis, and I've lost. Yeah, I'm like 20. This body should be 25, weigh 25 pounds more than it does, and I go to the doctor a lot and get weighed, but it's like I'm losing muscle tone. So if it's not that, my thought is just like Kim said, like cancer.
Mike, have you had any other things change too besides the weight loss?
No.
No? I would still, have you thought about going back to Mayo to getting like a,
Well, I'm going to make an appointment with my general doctor tomorrow, aside from my annual physical anyway.
when is that?
Well, I'll probably in the next couple of weeks.
I wouldn't wait that long.
I would, okay, so Mike, I just have to tell you, so you know my mom is like a 2-time cancer survivor, and I have a couple friends right now dealing with cancer that are on the youngish side. So when it might not be, it could be something else, it could be diabetes, it could be a plethora of things, but I would not sit on this one. I would be checked out, honestly. Like, that is like a big warning sign. I'm just thinking of my preceptor in pharmacy school when he had cancer, and he said one of the weird things is like I lost a bunch of weight with no rhyme or reason. And that's one of the things they look at. So I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm saying it's enough of a something that I would not wait to get it checked out. I would go somewhere and get it ruled out as soon as possible. And I wouldn't, yeah, because you don't want to sit on that. If that potentially is a thing, you don't want to sit on that.
And if that's not enough to scare you, I mean, it doesn't have to scare you, but my friend, I have a friend, yeah, but I have a friend and his wife had MS. I mean, he told me that like 5 years ago, and I didn't have MS at the time, that I didn't know. And then I remember he said, my wife's now entering this phase of progressive, it didn't mean anything to me. Well, then I wrote to him last year. He's kind of a music friend, and he said, "Oh, and he didn't get involved. He said his wife, she's had it for so many years, and he doesn't really know about MS. He just she's very private about it." So then he said, "Yeah, she was having all these symptoms, and all this stuff was going on, and she died last August of cancer. We didn't think it was that. You're just so used to having all these somatic complaints, bodily complaints. When you have MS, you kind of I don't feel like." Why bother? They're just going to say it's your problem, it's your fault, and whatever. So,
One of my friends right
Yeah.
now that is being treated with cancer, she does have MS, and she had the option of getting treated locally or going up to Rochester, Minnesota to Mayo Clinic, and she went to Mayo, and she's being treated by Mayo Clinic, and that's what she feels comfortable with. And so I know that you went to Mayo, Mike, so I would not hesitate to make an appointment and go, look, I'm having this symptom, potentially something else. Can I get checked in? And since you're already in the system, that's so much quicker to get back in.
Yeah.
And if it's
All right,
not,
well,
then amazing. Then we know.
I appreciate everyone's thoughts. Actually, I'm not opposed to going from cancer or whatever. I'm not trying to live to be 110, so I'll take what they give me, and I hope it's not cancer. I hope it's nothing.
it is something if you're losing
But
weight. There's a
it
reason.
is very alarming that you've lost 25 pounds this year with nothing. You've
Okay.
changed
All right.
nothing. That is very alarming. If you say that to a normal doctor, they'll look at you like they'll start to see red flags. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I just say one
I'll
thing,
give you.
Mike? Can I just say
Sure,
one
Rick.
thing? I'm listening in here. There's when you don't know, when you can't really figure out what the cause of something is, there's no better hospital in the country to go to than Mayo. I mean, that's what they are really, really, really good at. I've got another friend right now who's getting fevers. They can't figure out what it is. And, I've said to him, get yourself over to Mayo. And that's where Mayo's strength is. Now, whatever the situation that's causing this, they may not be the best place, and we'll make sure you get to the best place, or they may be the best place. It all depends. But in terms of being the sleuth and the detective, they are the best. I mean, there's nobody better. That's what they were founded on. They have this amazing ability to be able to diagnose stuff that other people cannot diagnose. And so and since you're already in the Mayo system, as Kim said, it's easy for you to do it. So I would say, get your little ass up to Phoenix, up to Mayo, and let them figure out what the heck it is. And then go from there. We're all here to support you, and we'll figure out what to do next. But that's my 2 cents. I didn't know, Mike, and I'm just so sorry to hear this.
Yeah, and it could
But
be
I
a
want
wide
you to,
variety of things.
yeah, could be a wide variety, could be anything. I mean, don't fixate.
But
Yeah.
since it could be something potentially severe, I wouldn't sit on it. Get it ruled
Right.
out right away. So like my mom, she's getting carpal tunnel surgery next week, and because she complained about a little bit of tingling in her feet sometimes, they wanted to send her to neurology. So yesterday I got the phone call, hey, we have a consultation at 7:45 the next morning. So yesterday we drove up to Mayo. This morning we had the appointment at Mayo Clinic, and that neurological appointment was so thorough. And obviously I am we all are very familiar with neurological appointments. And to see the thoroughness that they did on her just to figure out things was quite impressive. So I know I'm harping on Mayo, but you're already in the system. It's not too far. Just make that phone call and you'll be happy you did it. And we'll be happy for it. And
We'll be
hopefully,
happy. You don't have to be happy, but we'll be happy.
yeah. I'm not trying to
But
tell you what to
and
do,
you
Mike.
And
We
you're
just care
right.
about you. We just care about you, Mike,
Yeah.
and we want to see you at your
You know,
best quality of life and nothing else starts to get out of
right.
whack.
And as you said right at the beginning, you'll make somebody else living in your house very happy too. You said it.
And I didn't know,
Uh,
Rick, what you said with the diagnostics, because they didn't know what was wrong with me, and I got all this testing done, and there were like 13 tubes of blood, so I don't even remember. And the lab at Kaiser was just like, "What is this? What is this?" And they sent it to the Mayo Clinic. So now I know why.
Yeah, Mayo's pretty unbelievable in terms of sleuthing stuff down and figuring out what's causing stuff. They're just really good at it.
They
That's their
they they saved my mom's life twice. I mean,
yeah.
that's why I'm so very biased towards them.
Now, at the same time, I'll tell you, if we've got guys in the Midwest and they're looking at prostate cancer treatment, it's not our favorite hospital by far. I mean, I have a lot of issues, but you've just got to know what they're good for. You've got to know where they're really good, and then follow up. And I think that for you, this is probably a really good. So we've said it. We're not saying any more. Move on to the next
okay.
lady. Move on.
I'll just say one thing. The cool thing about
Yeah.
Mayo Clinic is that if you need to see different doctors in different departments, you can get in really fast versus having this weird delay and things like that. It's tends to be quicker
Yeah.
turnaround. Like my mom,
They,
they're like they're like, "Oh, you have a lidocaine allergy? I can't do surgery on you. We're gonna send you to allergy." So they could see her the very next morning. We saw the allergist and got that all squared away. Like that's unbelievable in turnaround times, as Christy was talking about how things are dropping off. So to get things figured out in a concise time, that's probably one of the quicker ways to do it. So anyway, I won't
uh,
harass you anymore.
yeah,
But
let's not harp on this and move on to somebody else if we can help. But thanks to everyone for your thoughts and concern and advice.
awesome.
I
And
do
let us
take it
know
to
what you
heart.
decide on doing.
Okay.
Amina, sorry we skipped you, girl. Mike came on and
No,
we got
no,
sidetracked there, girl. Did you get your food in?
it's yes, it's totally fine. My phone was being weird anyway. Um, yeah, so I just wanted to share a couple of things. I I actually am gonna be starting to take prednisone for a while. Um, because you know how you can feel your body decline, like you can feel it actually like week to week progressing, the illness itself. And that's what I'm beginning to feel now. And so I'm going to start taking a prednisone, and that's that. That's
Who,
my newest news.
but who ordered that? Because you were missed last time. I noticed you weren't there. So
No, my GP did. I'm having a really hard time with neurology with this insurance I have. And I don't want that to be the reason why I don't get some kind of help. And so that's where I am right now. At this moment, that's what's happening.
did you start
And I haven't I got prescribed today. I'm probably gonna have it at the drugstore by probably tomorrow, latest the next day. And so, yeah, it's freaky when you like feel your body like literally week to week declining. That shit is freaky.
Here I am.
And yeah,
Yep.
and I noticed that my body has been declining, but then it's like on a speed up program right now. And Yeah. So that's where I am right now. So yeah.
Amina, this
Yes.
group of people that are on this call are prednisone in one form or another is the drug of choice for
Right.
MS.
Short term.
Right.
Well, the Medrol too.
Have you been on prednisone before or any other steroids in the past, Amina?
Yes. When I was first diagnosed in 2010, before I was, yeah, right, was I woke up in one morning and I had no feeling in my body at all, like all the way from my feet to my cheeks. And so I went to the ER, and the first thing they did was give me an IV of prednisone. And after I left the hospital, like a day and a half or so later, I also was taking the pill and then was doing the taper down with the pill. And yeah, and it's like the gift and the curse. Like it's like Dr. Jekyll. It's like the good and the bad, the angel and the devil, because it has awful side effects. So I hate that part. But then I walk better. I'm more like my cognitive ability is more focused. I do can tend to get constipated on it, but I got something for that now. And yeah, so I'm just ready to kind of feel a little bit normal for even for only for like 6 weeks.
And then
Yeah.
and then you think you're okay, because well, I didn't know I was diagnosed, but in 2018 is when I started looking into stuff, and then they decided I had thyroid cancer, but I didn't. So I had surgery anyway, and I came back from surgery, and it's like, oh, I'm walking better, my hand is better, and so like
Right.
it did help. And my neurologist, my MS specialist, I did ask her when I first met her if I could get, because I was still like, well, maybe I could just be on prednisone. And I did look into it,
Mhm.
for a long-term thing. And she's like,
Right.
it's not a good idea, but like let's say well, I never go anywhere anymore, but I said, well, if I was going to go on vacation or do something, would I be able to do it just for like what you said, just to get a little bit better for a little while?
Right. Yeah.
And Amina, I care
Yes.
about you, and I don't want you to think that every time you see me, I'm going to harp on a disease modifying therapy. But do you think you're going to see a neurologist and get on some sort of like treatment anytime soon?
That is the goal. Now my insurance is having like that enrollment or something where you choose
Okay.
different, you can, redo your program and um choose a different doctor or whatever. And maybe by then I'll have it squared away. But
Okay.
where I live, there's no neurologist. Like, not that accept my insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
So, but
question, Amina.
hopefully, yes.
So,
Good
are we
because
coming
I
up to the enrollment period where you can change your insurance? Is that this time of year, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
It just started. Yeah.
I
Hmm.
would maybe look into finding a different insurance that is covered by, like, you can get see an MS specialty. I would. I know, and it sucks. It sucks to do the research. It sucks to do all that stuff. But you have been struggling with this for so long and your frustration. And I don't even know if is that something I could help research from Iowa? Like, is it like all the same? I don't know. I want.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah,
geography.
I'm sorry, excuse me. I have the Florida Blue insurance, which is like, Obamacare or whatever. And I don't work. I don't have any income right now. So this is what I can afford right now. Yeah, that's why I'm on it. Because once I get disability, I'll be able to get better and I'll have better insurance. But this is what I can afford right now.
But
Well, you can
you're
see,
not
I
being
mean,
served. You're not being served. There's like Department of Managed Healthcare. They have to give you a specialty appointment within a certain amount of time, 6 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, you were saying that. Yeah,
Something has to move, and just like what Christy was saying, if you don't fight, and how do you fight when you're so down, when you're so weak?
well, and that's, I mean,
hmm
that you can see that this group of people care about you. And we just want you to, just so you know that we're like all like, get on a drug. And I know it's not easy, but if there's anything, if you ever want to reach out, anything we can do, and Rick is saying something about Jacksonville, Mayo, or just anything, Florida, anyone that we can reach out or connect you with, because it's important just to take care of what you got for as long as you got it.
it's true.
Because you want whatever you get on it, it's not going to, I was told that over and over again, it's not going to, you're not going to get back what you lose. Every
Mm.
day that you lose, you're never going to get it back. So
You just want to stop losing if you can. Get on some.
The I was on the open enrollment today,
Oh,
but it's pretty cool. It sounds weird to whatever. I don't like to say health insurance is cool, but when you're selecting the plans, you could put your doctor in or the doctor you want, and it'll show you all the different plans that that doctor takes. So it's kind of reverse engineering it. Instead of calling a doctor asking them
mm,
what they give, it just says you put your doctor in, and the marketplace says all of these take this doctor, and then so you kind of work backwards, and you can put your medicines on there too. Um, so and it's income based, so because of my income, they give you like a tax credit. So
mm.
I mean, mine. I mean, I think they credited me like almost $350 for my premium. So uh, I'm not trying to be like a whatever, but I'm like I did it today and I got through it fast because I was scared to see what my premiums would be next year. Um, but you can it goes through the process pretty quick. But that might help you too. And since it just opened, I don't know, maybe a couple of days ago, now's the time to mess with it because once that December 15th comes, like you'll be
Right.
on the phone for hours with these people. But
hmm
if you're able to mess around with it now, you probably have a better chance of talking to people. But yeah, it's definitely more
Okay.
helpful than navigating my actual insurance website, um, searching the marketplace website. And if you did want someone to help you, I think all they need is like your login info. So if there's someone you trusted, they could should be able to jump on there and help you um, find doctors and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So I guess that's nationwide. The market is opened now for
yeah, but each state
insurance.
does it. Each state does it differently, and I'm on Medicare, and I'm surprised. I'm on Medicare, and I'm low income, so I don't have any copays, and I got on a $19 a month plan for this year, and then I found out it's going to be zero. So
Whoa.
they're raking in so much money that their prices are actually going down. I mean, I
going
would just
down.
have this benefit to being, being low income that I'm actually not having to pay the extra. I have to pay for Medicare, but um, when Obamacare came about, I was working in a health plan and my insurance ended like literally December 30th, whatever year that was that it was coming in. And so I did a lot of research about it with some friends because we were trying to figure out what is it and what can I do. And but you're at a point where you need to find where to go. You need to find where to go.
Yeah,
There has to be a neurologist. And I know, I mean, I think it's different for the covered, what do they call it, covered California here or Florida blue, whatever you have,
right,
it's
right.
different. But I know with my health plan, I could change. I can make a change, even though I think it might be a Medicare rule, but I can actually change midway one time, just anytime. I don't have to wait till that open enrollment. I could just make a change. But Louis right. You need to find where to go and then figure out what insurance will cover it, and then next week it'll change. But
Right.
you what about, you were going to look and weren't you going to call the MS Navigator? Have you done that?
No, I have not done that. MS Navigator. You mean on the
MS
website for the
Society. No, the MS
MS
Society. They say,
Society?
where can you go
Okay.
to find, because you have to get a diagnosis. And the longer you wait,
I know. I know. I
And
know.
Amina, seriously, we're not harping on you to harp on you, like beat you up or something, but it's just that we care.
I know, and I don't take it that you're beating, like the other young lady was talking about, like it's overwhelming and like sad and just overwhelming to have to deal with that and it not go smooth. Like, why can't I just get a neurologist on the network and call them and them not tell me they're no longer on the net? Like, how come it can't just go smooth? And it's overwhelming and it does at times kind of make me shut down a little bit. And I'm
Yeah.
just being totally transparent and authentic about it. It does do that. But I gotta say, I don't feel I'm being harped on. I feel like there's people that care and that can relate and there's giving me valuable advice.
Yeah,
That's the way
because
I
we're,
look at it.
yeah, well, we've all been there. It's been 25 years for me, and Louis, it's been a year, and we all know. We just remember and share with your frustration. And again, that's what's awesome about this group is we get you, and we want to do what's best for your health.
Thank
and I,
you.
the MS Society, really, I have my criticism of them. If Frank doesn't like it, I have my criticisms of the MS Society, but I have to say, exactly where you're at, that's the people to call, because you can cry,
Okay.
you can voice your frustrations, that's their job, is to help you navigate. And you could get a dud. I've gotten a dud more than once, but when I was first diagnosed, just what the hell? I just couldn't even. What do I do? How do I deal with this? Where
Hmm.
do I go? And that is what they do. They expect you to call and be upset and cry and feel disempowered. And that's what they do. They reach out their hand to you and say, let me try to find you something.
Okay. Yeah. We need like solid support.
You
That's yeah. Hmm.
you get together with MS Navigator and have them help you.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
You need to get together with an MS Navigator and have them help you.
Okay.
You know how to get a hold of them, Amina? Do you know how to call an MS Navigator?
Yeah, is it just do I just go on the MS Society website and okay.
Yes.
Does anyone want to put a link to the MS Navigators in the chat?
I
Let
think
me see if I
Frank
can find.
did.
Let me see if I can find it real quick, and I'll get it in there if I can find it real fast.
Thanks,
Great.
Frank. So
Is there anything else anyone wanted to talk tonight before we start? Anything else? Just reminder that we meet in 2 weeks from tonight, which is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. And because my new system is silly on my computer, I have to look at the calendar on my phone. So that
it's November 22nd.
there we go. Thank you, Jen.
Yeah.
November 22nd, in 2 weeks, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, is our next meeting. Okay.
And can I give a plug to another meeting for the guys? Only for the
Absolutely.
guys?
Okay, leave me out, Rick. Okay, it's fine.
No, because we're working on doing the same thing for the ladies too, but we just haven't gotten there yet. So we have a meeting called Men Speaking Freely, which is a men only meeting, and it's a really cool meeting, and it's to talk about anything except your treatment. So we don't get into the treatment for whatever your chronic condition is, and we've just opened it up to all conditions. It was previously for cancer, a lot of prostate cancer guys, just because that's what we are. But we'd love to bring in people with other chronic conditions, and the conversation is really cool. The moderators are excellent, and I think the guys in here. I know that Tim would enjoy it if he could break away, and it's fine if you come in just for a little bit. The next meeting is the third Thursday, which will be the 17th of November, and it's in this room. It starts at 8 o'clock Eastern. So anyway, I just want to say, and if you want to get a reminder, just go on the website and go to the contact us and just ask for a reminder. I've tried to put a bunch of the guys in. I don't know if I got everybody, but you you'll really like it. And Frank just put in the navigator. He beat me to it because I was doing a commercial.
Frank actually put the MS Navigator phone number in the chat. Good
Yes,
job,
thank
Frank.
you, Frank. Thank you,
Sure.
thank you. So, Amina, get that number down.
Yes, I'm doing it right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I also put my contact in there because I told you, there's things I'm good at looking at, and then there's things I'm not good at looking up. But that, finding a neurologist, I could probably help you with that.
Okay. Okay, let me write all this down. Hold on.
And
You guys are
kudos to
really,
you, Louie, for getting the health insurance information that you got. Like for being, I don't want to call you a
yeah.
noob, but good job.
Oh yeah, well, when thousands of dollars are on the line, you have to figure something out.
Yeah, so good job.
Yeah,
Literally.
thank you.
All right. Boy,
Anything
your meetings.
anyone go
I
ahead?
was just going to say, I just congratulate everybody in this group. Your meetings are always so good. There's so much information. And, and we see it because we get a lot of people listening. I mean, we'll post it and you guys spread the word, and people love these meetings because they pick up such a load of information from the meetings. Um, so great job, everybody.
Is there
And
anything
go
anyone
watch
else
the
wanted?
news and see all the fun election results.
Oh, yeah.
My
Yeah.
my high school mate is winning big time. So
Well,
He's
I made a
blowing
mistake. I voted for Frank where I'm at. I messed up.
it. Yeah, well,
Yeah. Well, let's hope the election is decided in 2 weeks. There's not going to be any of this business
Yeah.
meeting until December. Get it done.
It brings me back to horde days of gosh, Al Gore and George Bush. That was the first one that was didn't take a month to decide. We had the hanging chads in Florida, and
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
hanging chads.
Yeah.
I remember hanging
All
chads.
right, guys, I'm gonna get off. I'll leave you guys to finish up, but it's good to see everybody, and hopefully we'll get some good results. There's a lot of follow up to do for a lot of people in this meeting today, right, Jennifer?
Absolutely. Yeah,
All
well,
right,
it's good to see you guys. I get an extreme close up because I'm playing with the computer. So,
And you look
see you.
good.
Thank you. Thank you. See you in 2 weeks.
Yes,
Bye.
thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Win
You
fast.
too.
Bye. Thanks.